All right, hello and welcome. Brett here with clickmill.co. And in this video, we're going to be addressing meditation within Buddhism. Now, in a prior video, we had Michael who was asking a question about what the deal with the monks is, like where does this come in? Now, this comes in because in order to become one with the universe, and I'm going to bring it back to this sort of core idea of distinction. The goal is to eliminate distinctions between us and anything else. So I am not distinct from this microphone. I am not distinct from this table. The computer is not distinct from the monitor. It's all one. And so the goal of meditation is to cease to exist. Essentially, it is to try to have nirvana now, which is, I believe, the third noble truth, right? So the goal is to become one with the oneness. I don't know what the word is in Buddhism, but we've said Brahman is what they call it in Hinduism, where we sort of merge with all of the things. And so it starts to become clear what Buddhist meditation is. Why are we on top of a mountain? Because there's no sound up there. There's no people up there. It's just quiet. And, why do we Om? Well, it's because any sound that there is, that is going to blot out. So you only hear the oneness. And why do we close our eyes? Well, because you don't want to see, because when you see distinctions between things, and your mind naturally fools you into believing that there are differences between this mountain and that mountain that you're looking at, or snow and no snow. So we close our eyes and we Om. And so this is the idea of Buddhist meditation. And so the goal here of meditation is to remove your mind from your mind, to remove yourself from yourself. Why? Because nirvana is the happiest happiness. It is the joyful experience. So their goal is to remove their mind from their mind and to become one with the oneness. So they're trying to have nirvana, pre-nirvana, essentially. Now, I do want to share a story of a friend of Zach and mine both. We probably won't name him here, but very large YouTuber. I believe at one point he had over 2 million subscribers, and met him at a camp out here in Hawaii. And we started talking. He's showing me his book, which was a Buddhist book on Buddhist meditation. And he's at a men's group Bible study with a group of Christians. So I naturally was like, okay, going with our communication course, that's interesting. Tell me more about that. Oh, yeah. And, so he's sort of experimenting with faith. And he was a very high performing type person, but just was not feeling complete and felt like he was being kind of called by God to some degree and was trying to find what that looked like. So while we're at this men's retreat, I see him trying to do Buddhist meditation, which is where you clear your mind of your mind. You just rid everything out of there. And at the same time, having conversations with Christ in his mind and praying. And so I said, well, are you familiar with the differences between Buddhism and, or even pantheism is probably the way I explained it to him, but are you familiar with the difference between pantheism and Christianity? He goes, no, I don't have any idea. Okay, cool. So I explained to him, pantheism is the universe is God. There is no person that is God. There's no God on a throne in an afterlife. It's just the stuff in the universe, all of it combined, that is God. And the goal is to cease to exist, to become one with the universe. And by that, I mean, you cease to exist, so I'm talking to this gentleman, and you no longer exist, and your matter is just one with the matter of the universe. And he's like, oh, okay, so he did not know that. And that is the purpose of meditation. So then when I come over on a pantheistic view, come over to Christianity, Christianity believes there is a theistic God. There is a God that exists in person, in three persons. There is a God that exists outside of the universe, who created the universe, who loves us, who wants a relationship with us, and he wants us to talk to him and share our life with him. And so when you talk to Christ, you are not ridding your mind of your mind. You're actually filling your mind with Christ. You are focusing on Christ. You're communicating with Christ. You're sharing with God. And so he goes, oh. And so I explained to him, you cannot have both. You cannot have a pantheistic God and a theistic God. Both of those things cannot be true. That is what we call mutually exclusive claims. Either God exists on a throne in heaven somewhere as we understand in theism, and he has a person, like you're a person or I'm a person, he has a personhood, or he does not, and it is the universe and he has no person. But God is one or the other. We can't have both be God. That makes no sense. And so I explained this to him. And shortly after that, I don't think it was the same evening, but I mean, you could really see he had not ever thought of this. And shortly after that, he very, I would say, quickly started to lean into the Christian faith. Because that choice, right? All I did was identify a choice. I didn't even say he's already at a Christian Bible camp. I don't need to preach the gospel. He already knows what this is. I just need to identify the decision so that he can make an informed decision as to the way he wants to go. And obviously, he knows the side I'm on because I'm at the men's Bible Christian Bible camp too. So this is one way that understanding the difference between pantheism and a Christian worldview can be helpful. And Zach, I apologize. What was the beginning of this video? Meditation. I apologize. Meditation. Yes. So when we're talking about meditation, the purpose of meditation, bringing it full circle here, is to rid your mind of your mind so that you can become one with the oneness. And you become one with the universe, essentially to reenact or pre-enact, I guess, prior to nirvana, to pre-enact the state of nirvana before you get there. Zach, you have anything you want to add to this lesson?
I don't have a whole lot to add to it. The note that you had there about our friend who was meditating and praying at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're still trying to bridge the gap between Christianity and Buddhism, and you're talking about the purpose of meditation is to help become one with the oneness, to reduce one's own desires, to reduce suffering, always pointing back to suffering. That is something that is promised to us. And then additionally, when we're praying, one of the things that we pray in the model prayer that Jesus gave us was, not my will, but yours be done. Mm-hmm. And the one-to-one track, they're trying to find those similarities between reducing one's own self, and more specifically, one's own selfish desires and negative traits within Buddhism, within Christianity, reducing one's own desires for their will to be enacted over the will of the Father. That's a very, very easy, I would say, thing that you could graft onto. Parallel. That would be, yeah.
Yeah, and so there again, you're taking what they understand and we're building it. I like that. That's awesome, Zach. Yeah. So, well, you guys see you see yourself as trying to become one with the oneness. Well, we see it similarly, but it's a little different. I don't want to rid myself of myself because I believe God created me and he created me beautifully and loves me. But I am trying to rid myself of selfish desire and the things that bring about suffering. Okay. So there we're piggybacking on the suffering. So what do I want to do? I want to have the will of the God who is in heaven and wants to know me. Not the oneness of the universe, the theistic God. So you can see how that can start to maybe open up a door there for communication from what they already know. So I really like that. Great word. All right. In this video, well, I guess in this video, we talked about Buddhism as it pertains to meditation, and obviously the difference there between Buddhist meditation and Christian meditation, because we do sometimes use the word meditation. We're meditating and filling our mind with God as opposed to ridding our mind of all things. Okay, so in the next video, we're going to start maybe breaking into a couple, and we already have seen a couple, but we're going to start breaking into a couple ways in which the Buddhist worldview is at least logically inconsistent, and this will minimally build your faith. Might you have an opportunity to ask a Buddhist? And again, we want to ask the questions, not tell them. We want to help them discover things if the moment is right. So if you have the opportunity, these can be questions you can ask and kind of show some logical fallacies if they are open to logical reasoning. And so with that, we'll go there in the next video where we're going to actually, In the next video, we're going to talk about karma, and then we're going to get into the logical fallacies. I'm getting my order incorrect here. So in the next video, I'll see you there where we're going to talk about karma. God bless.